lot of the things that our children are being told are not true. And so you have to go back to the truth. And this is the truth. This is the law of the land. No matter your gender, your sexual identity, no matter your race, your religion, your political beliefs, none of that stuff matters.
Welcome to the Joyful Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Justice, co-founder of Moms for Liberty, and I'm joined by an extraordinary woman today, Joni Bryan. Joni is the founder and the executive director of the 917 Society. And the 917 Society is a nonprofit 501c3 organization with a passion to encourage young people to know their rights given to them by the U.S. Constitution as citizens. And we at Moms for Liberty, our moms across the country, have been blessed to be able to work with Joni a little bit since we started Moms for Liberty, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But Joni, welcome to the Joyful Warrior Podcast. How did you come to found this extraordinary organization?
Well, thank you, Tiffany, for having me. Well, several years ago, I was working in a retirement community, and one of the residents there had ran for governor in the 60s, and he had been real involved in civil rights, and so he was a constitutional lawyer, a brilliant man. And one day we were debating a court case. He actually loved to debate things back and forth, and he said, "My dear," he said, "you realize that's unconstitutional." And I looked at him, I said, "No, I don't." I said, "Why?" And he pulled a pocket constitution out of his pocket and he said, "My dear, when is the last time you read your constitution?" And when he said that, Tiffany, I realized in all my years with my education, I have a background in biology and chemistry, a minor in psychology, and a social work and education background. And I realized I'd never read the Constitution. I had bits and pieces like most of us, but that question really got to me. But his words, your Constitution, I never thought of it as mine. It was just this historical document. I really just didn't comprehend the relevance of it. I was so active with my kids. I have two grown daughters now, and I was married to a public school teacher, and I was a social worker. And so we were so involved, raising kids, doing all our things that, I would vote. I thought I was involved, but literally I would vote and just send them to Washington and assume that they'll do what they're supposed to do. And you know what happens when you assume.
You sure do.
So that question kept me up at night, and I realized, I always taught my children, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of what?
Problem. Yep.
And I was looking in the mirror, and I was the problem. And so that really made me feel like I had to do something, but I didn't know what. And so I just kept turning that question over and over, and I started researching, and I learned about the federal mandate. All schools that get federal funds are supposed to have a program on the Constitution on or around September 17th.
So I see that, Joni. So I just want to say, in Congress in 2004 passed a provision that said every school and college that receives federal money must teach about the Constitution on September 17th, the day the document was adopted in 1787.
And it also includes federal employees, because when I was at the post office the other day having the conversation of shipping out constitutions, the federal employee there, I said, "Are y'all doing Constitution Day?" And he said, "I love the Constitution." And he looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, actually, the law was adopted in 1959 as Citizenship Day." And I remember hearing about Citizenship Day. I don't remember us really doing a lot. But then in 2004, it was signed in as Constitution Day. And so that includes K through 12 universities and also federal employees. But we focus on 8th grade, and there's a really important reason why. Because we want to create a moment. I said those words, your Constitution. And I thought, we need to create a moment in our young people's education where they can get excited about what it means to be a citizen, but also to create a sense of ownership, because I didn't have an ownership to it. And what inspired me was where I was working, I was learning about the mandate. I started calling around, and I started traveling to social study teachers' conferences. And I said, "What do y'all do for Constitution Day?" And everybody would just look at me like, "What are you talking about? Constitution Day, what is that?" And so I thought, well, if we had a free program, would you like it? And they're like, absolutely. And of course, I was married to a public school teacher for a long, long time. Not the best husband because we're divorced now, but a wonderful, amazing teacher, a fantastic teacher. And so it was very inspirational. And I remember working alongside him so many years, raising money. And, that was always an issue because our public school teachers, they really struggle for funding,
They shouldn't.
for their
There's more
classroom.
than enough funding that's going into the public school system that our teachers shouldn't be scrambling to try to get
They
supplies for
shouldn't.
kids and to do the things that they have to do right now. Just to be fair, I
But
have to
give
put
to
that in
give
there, Joni, because
Right. No,
I
that's
have some
great.
issues with
That's
it.
great. You are so correct because in my little county that I just moved from, teachers get $200 a year for supplies. And so I've spent all my years helping my husband, raising money, selling donuts in the Walmart parking lot, all those fun things you do to raise money. And so I thought, well, we gave our teachers a free program. This should be free. This mandate is not funded. It gives just like 2 sentences and that's it, so it's not funded. I thought, well, what if we funded it? What if we developed a 501c3 and funded it? And so that's what we started doing. And so our very first year, we worked here in Middle Tennessee. And we also added something really cool. And I wanted to share a little bit about the Constitution so everybody can understand what we're trying to do here. The Constitution, it has in here celebrating our citizenship, September 17th, 1787, when the Constitution was signed into law. Then it has a place where the teachers can sign and date it. We want to make it special. We want to create a moment in their education. Then it has the Declaration, the Constitution, all the amendments, the signers, and how many amendments do we have? 27.
So,
And then it
Joni,
has,
I'm going to stop you
uh-huh,
for a second because I want to, people may not know if you're listening to the podcast and you're like, okay, Joni and Tiffany are talking, right? And what are we talking about? So, you guys have a mission. And
mhm,
so this year, I'm going to talk about Mission 2023. So,
mhm,
September 17th is Constitution Day. And you said you reached 1.3 million eighth graders across 50 states in 2022, thanks to the generosity of your donors and volunteers. You got pocket
mhm,
constitutions into the hands of 1.3 million eighth graders. And you said this year, you're on a mission to reach all 6 million eighth grade students in the United States
mhm,
on Constitution Day. And that's students from public school, private school, homeschool
mhm,
backgrounds, all
mhm.
50 states. And so what you're doing is you give out these, can we see one, a free pocket-sized copy of the United States Constitution. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that in Chatham County, North Carolina last year, we worked with you to give constitutions to eighth graders there. But we also know, Joni, I'll tell you, there have been schools that have refused to
Mhm.
work with us, our moms, in giving out these constitutions. So for everyone listening, that's what 917 Society does. Nonprofit, great organization, works to get these pocket constitutions into the hands of eighth graders. We've got volunteers and Moms for Liberty that really have embraced this. And all over the country this year, I know we're helping to get these
Absolutely.
constitutions into the eighth. Does it surprise you, Joni, to know and to hear that there are schools who will not accept the pocket constitutions and give them out to students?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, it's a federal mandate. This is in the curriculum. So we chose eighth grade because in the U.S. curriculum, they're supposed to have the Constitution and civics in depth. So that's part of the curriculum. Now, of course, we can't make them use our Constitution, but we make sure that in our Constitution there is no commentary, no advertising. There's nothing in it but the words. That's all we want. We want our children to read the words for themselves and then decide what it means to them, because isn't that what education is all about? You use your critical thinking. And so that's all that we do. And what's really cool is I love seeing the young people get their constitutions, and it opens up on the Bill of Rights. And we get some amazing questions because it makes the kids think. Because a lot of the things that our children are being told are not true. And so you have to go back to the truth. And this is the truth. This is the law of the land, no matter your gender, your sexual identity, no matter your race, your religion, your political beliefs. None of that stuff matters. And we're very blessed that we have Moms for Liberty involved, but we have lots of other organizations too. It crosses all different groups. We have AMVETS is really involved with us, American Veterans. We have a lot of different like DAR, SAR, which are Sons and Daughters of the American Revolution. We have, historical groups. We have some political groups. Doesn't matter as long as they love the country and love our Constitution. That's all we ask for people to join us, is just love the country, love the Constitution. And every elected official takes an oath. And the cool thing on the back of this is I was inspired by three people I worked with who had came here from two from the Ukraine and one from Jamaica, and they asked me to print the citizenship test because if you come here from another country legally, you are supposed to take a test to get your citizenship. And so I printed the test, and Tiffany, I realized I probably couldn't pass it, and so they were so excited to get their citizenship. And now here in America, they worked in our housekeeping department. But in the Ukraine, he was a lawyer and she was a concert pianist, extremely educated. But they were thrilled to be here in this country. Just like we're seeing people flood across our border because they want what America has. America is not this awful country that people want to try to make out. If it was, we wouldn't have our people flooding the border to get here. It's an amazing country, and that's what we want our young people to know. So they went and took the citizenship test and raised their right hand, and in the back of our Constitution is the oath of citizenship. And the young people can sign it and date it, and then they can carry this with them. It's theirs. It creates a sense of ownership to the document. It's tangible, it's physical, and emotional.
So Vivek Ramaswamy has been saying on the campaign trail that he feels like every student that's coming out of public school in America should take the civics test that someone has to pass in order to become a citizen.
Yes.
My husband and I took our children to Washington, D.C. a few years ago, and we happened to be at Mount Vernon on July 4th and got to witness 100 people go through a naturalization ceremony, which was just remarkable to be a part of and to see people swear and take an oath to be a citizen of the United States of America. It was very, very special. So Amy Kappelman is the chapter chair of Moms for Liberty in Chatham County, North Carolina, and she was asked about passing out these constitutions and why we were doing it. And she said, we hope that these constitutions will help teachers to convey the importance of our nation's framework and help each young recipient to better understand the rights guaranteed to them. And that truly is, what Moms for Liberty is all about. I'm going to share for a moment because I think you're going to like this. So if you go to the Moms for Liberty website, we have a Constitution challenge there. And what it says is to ensure the survival of America and see a future where her citizens thrive in a culture of liberty, I commit to reading the U.S. Constitution on or before September 17th. And then you can click take the challenge here. And you'll fill in your information and commit to taking the challenge. And then I'm just going to click here for a second because, Joni, we've got some challenge resources for families because we really want families to start discussing the Constitution a bit more. So you can click to listen to a reading of the Constitution. You can get a free digital guide to the U.S. Constitution from the Heritage Foundation. You can sign up to take Constitution 101 from Hillsdale College for free. And then for families with older children, you can do something. We have a Madison Minute packet, which contains the How to Read the Constitution and Declaration of Independence handbooks. And so there's some coloring stuff, right? We're really trying to get families involved. And then for families with younger children, you can download these coloring sheets so that you can engage with your children about the Constitution. And so we're just really excited at Moms for Liberty to be able to participate with you and to pass out these constitutions and to try to work to really, help ensure that our children thrive in a culture of liberty. So, Joni, if people want to learn more about the 917 Society, if they want to help you to pass out these constitutions, where do they go? What do they do?
Okay, well, it's very simple. You go to our website, which is 917society.org, and you can donate. $25 sponsors a classroom. So we have all different levels of sponsorship. You can also sign up for the newsletter. You can volunteer with us. So if you want to volunteer, there's a place on our website that says Order Constitutions, and you will order for your school district, and then our database manager will get with you and get the list of schools, how many constitutions, and so that's a way to get involved. But another way that we can get involved, and it goes hand in hand with what you're doing with your challenge for Constitution Day, is host a Constitution Day event in your community. You can go to our website, and there are resolutions, about 13 different resolutions, your school board, church, ministry, town, city, all different kinds of organizations. And it's a resolution that you can adopt. And we did have a school board do it. In fact, it's on our Facebook page where a school board went in and adopted a resolution and read that at the school board meeting honoring Constitution Day. And that was really cool. But have a event in your park. We do a huge Constitution Day event here in Nashville on September 17th. So this will be our 7th one. So we're encouraging, once we get the Constitution shipped out into all the schools, then we like to celebrate what we've accomplished this year. And then next year we'll be starting again. So this next year we'll be working to reach all 8th graders across the country. This year we reached a little over 1 million, as you said, for 2023. So for 2024, we want to make this available to every school, public, private, and every homeschool that wants to get involved and read the Constitution. So I love the challenge you have about adults, because what we're finding is as the young people take these home, the parents and the older siblings are getting them, and they're getting excited about the Constitution because it makes it real. It makes it visible, tangible, real. And so that's been so exciting to see. We get a lot of requests, for teachers saying, well, my students took them home and could we get some more? And so if we're able to accommodate, we do. But it takes funding. And so we don't get state or federal funds. We truly feel like funding 501c3 out of taxpayer money is unconstitutional. And so it's important for us to just have individuals who love the country and love the Constitution to support us.
Well, and one of the things that moms and dads across the United States have seen, and members of Moms for Liberty, is that unfortunately many times our children are not being taught to love and respect the United States of America in their classrooms. And that's shocking to us as
Yes.
citizens, and as we see, as you said, millions of people flooding our borders, trying to come into America to live here because we do have these foundational documents that secure our freedom and liberty. There's no denying that America is a beacon of light for the rest of the world. And it's so important that we understand our foundational documents. And so we're just really thankful for you, Joni, and for your organization for working with us to be able to provide the constitutions. We're thankful that we have the opportunity to get into the schools. Our moms are there on the ground, building relationships. And I think that more and more schools this year. I think you are going to break your record from last year. I think you're going to get more and more constitutions into the hands of kids across the United States. We're proud to be a part of it and working with these other organizations to make that happen. So if anyone wants to donate, become a volunteer, spread the word, you can go to 917society.org. Check out Joni, check out the mission, the vision. You can you can order constitutions. You can figure out how you're going to volunteer. You can donate money. They have a $2 million goal that they're trying to reach. So you can donate money to them. And then don't forget to go to momsforliberty.org and check the Constitution Challenge. One of the things that you can do with your kids is sit down and read the Constitution together. Talk about the Constitution. Talk about what the words mean. Our children, even if they're young, again, print out those coloring sheets and just chat with them a little bit about how special America is. And I think, Moms for Liberty, we know that it's really been amazing for moms, Joni, and for dads across the country to come together. But we know we're raising the next group of patriots in America and spreading and sharing that message of love for our country and pride in our country and working, America, a lot of people, there are a lot of great things in our past. There are a lot of not so great things in our past, right? And so we want our children to be taught accurate history. And we want to have hard conversations together as a country, but there is no doubt that in 2023 that we have come so far as a nation, and our children deserve to live with freedom and liberty going forward. So, Joni, just really thankful that you came on today to chat with me a little bit. Is there anything else you'd like to share? And please give people, again, your contact information if they can follow you on social media. If you guys are on social media, let's make sure we share that now.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, well, you can get involved with us on our website at 917society.org. And something you mentioned, I just want to say quickly. One of the things that's so important that I'm hearing and seeing as we're out giving these constitutions, our young people have been told, all the bad things. And yes, we have bad things in the past, but they've not been reinforced of how we've overcome those things. Our amendment process, all the ways that we have improved. Life today is so much better for everyone in America than it was 50 years ago or 60 years ago. Think about it, Tiffany. A little over 100 years ago, you and I couldn't vote. Think about that. We have come a long way, and our children need to know that they are not victims, they are not oppressed. Every single child needs to know they can accomplish anything in this great country if they're willing to work for it. It can happen for everybody. We have equality that was hard fought for and won, and so I want our young people to know that. But go to our website at 917society.org and get involved. We have our wonderful resource page, and we would love to put Moms for Liberty, your Constitution Challenge, on that resource page, if that's okay with you.
We would love
so
that.
It's a free page where lesson plans, games, videos, all kinds of fun stuff. Teachers can get on there, and when they have their Constitution Day event, then they can, have all kinds of resources they can pick and choose from. And we also have a contest the teachers can enter, and we'll have 10 lucky winners across the nation. 10 classrooms will win $200 each to spend for their classroom by sending in their pictures and videos of what they did for Constitution Day. So we're so excited to partner with moms. It has been just a pleasure, so much fun getting all these great emails. Keep sending them. You can reach me personally at Joni at 917society.org. I'll answer every email as long as I can. So we would love to have you involved with
Wonderful.
us.
Pat Blackburn, our chapter chair coordinator, told me that I was going to love you. She said you were fantastic and that you've been such a joy to work with our moms. So really, Joni, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that donates to the 917 Society so that we can have the opportunity to share these pocket constitutions with all of these students. And the tide is turning. More kids are learning. Yep, kids are learning about our country. They're learning the truth about our country. What a wonderful, special place that it is. And you are a huge part of that. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, Joni.
Oh, thank you. And I want to give Pat a shout out for being so wonderful to work with. And Cindy Roberts in South Carolina. She's the one that connected us to begin with. So those folks deserve a lot of praise. But yes, we just love working with you guys, and anything we can do. I see this being a wonderful partnership. And any other groups out there that are listening that want to get involved, love to have you. This country is fantastic. God bless America. And God bless everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Joni. I hope you have a great day.
You too.